on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Ooh! Good afternoon, Bakers. And what's going on? Welcome to Wakin' Jake, a snowy February 18th in the Bronx. John Boy Jimmy O'Brien's birthday, 32 years of age. Huge announcement in the sports world. Chris Rose joining John Boy Media. Talk about a seismic shift in the sports landscape, if we're being completely honest. Producer Big Baby David, Bug Dude, potentially Bug.
Just Bug
going forward.
According to some, the new hire is getting pretty chippy, which is fine.
How are you doing, my friend?
Buggy.
How are you doing? How are you doing with the snow? You're staying in the city tonight.
So
yeah.
I looked out now, and it looks like it's not currently snowing, and maybe I could have made the drive home. I don't know if I told you this whole thing from this morning. I'd go to like 3 different parking garages because they didn't believe me that I wanted to pick it up tomorrow, not today, and it wasn't doable.
I like that.
I ended up going to the place where I fight with the people every time, so I've got quite an interaction gearing up tomorrow.
That should be a good time.
Should I have just lied to them and said I'm picking it up today and just not?
Yeah.
I think so. That's what I'm doing next time.
Talk about life's conundrums, man. And speaking of life's conundrums, good checking in with you, Beavers. We delayed this morning. We knew the snow was coming in, so we wanted to get some of the Jersey people home early. So we pushed.
Those rats.
We pushed Wakin' Jake. Team player. It's all I know. It's all I'll ever know. Kept my hair sexy for today.
Lasted all day.
I didn't realize how long it was. And that's when I thought I might as well just let it hang and hope that producer Zach finally invites me to be in his band. Still hasn't happened.
Planning to do a preseason cut of some sort?
Savannah Bananas just followed me. I don't know what my plan is, BBD. I've got an ace in the hole that you guys are going to really like, and I don't know how to properly reveal it. So I'm going to figure that out at some point. Yeah. BBD, on Wakin' Jake, we talk sports, which is huge. Love sports. We start with the game of the night, and we've got a little bit of a situation on our hands, BBD, because we had to be honest with ourselves. This morning, if we did the game of the night, I could talk to you about Steph Curry getting buckets.
That's cool.
Your Orlando Magic beating up on your New York Knicks. BBD, the game of the night is the trade of the day. Ooh. You can really dance. Carson Wentz is traded from the Philadelphia Eagles. He's going to the Indianapolis Colts for a 3rd-round pick and a conditional 2nd, which can turn into a 1st, I believe, pending, I think BBD said 75% of snaps played or 70%
or a playoff berth plus 70%
something like that.
Of snaps.
So this was, if you were reading the tea leaves in the NFL, this seemed like an A plus B equals C. Frank Reich, the coach of the Colts, was the offensive coordinator of the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl. Carson Wentz's best year. He was an MVP candidate. Man, this is why sports are fun. Carson Wentz was a disaster this year. He's been a disaster the past 2 years. And he gets traded for a little bit of a haul, depending on if he hits those numbers or not. I mean, 1st-round picks in the NFL are
pretty sacred.
A big form of currency. So if you're tacking that on with a 3rd, he's got a massive contract. So the Colts are making a big bet here. And you got to like it. I know Colts fans are probably scared as hell right now because Carson Wentz has been big bad. But Frank Reich, your head coach, who's been a really good head coach of that team, he's putting his neck out there to go get his guy. So I don't know if this necessarily reflects the general manager. Maybe it does. I'd be interested to hear how all of that went down. They go out and get their guy. This Colts team has been well built everywhere else. It was kind of the Andrew Luck joke we laughed about a few times. They finally built that offensive line, and Andrew Luck was gone after getting beat up. And where is Andrew Luck? This is my favorite Wake and Jake segment. Where is Andrew Luck?
Where is it?
What's he doing out there?
Just hanging out.
I hope he comes back at some point, right? How old is Andrew Luck? Let's play a game.
I was about to look up how old he is.
How old do we think Andrew Luck is? 30?
I believe he might
Younger?
be 31, but I think he was not quite 30.
I'm going to guess Andrew Luck is 30 years old.
I think it's 30 because I feel like whenever we last played this game, the answer was 30.
He's 31. September 12th. It's his birthday.
We did this probably August, and he was 30 then.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Interested to see if we see Andrew Luck again, but for now we're not talking about that. Hey, good for the Colts. If you're a Colts fan, you are going to convince yourselves this is the real deal. This is the thing. This is the one. If you're an Eagles fan, I mean, good riddance, right? I mean, they've seen him be bad for 2 years.
And Eagles fans like Jalen Hurts. He's shown a lot.
They're
over the Wentz.
They're over Wentz. I want to pause before we get to Hurts. They're over Wentz. And the fact that they got rid of his salary, which was a huge deal.
They still have however much in dead cap, but you're always going to have that. It's dead if you're just having him on the roster, taking up the spot anyway.
Yeah, if you're blocking your quarterback position with someone you don't believe in. So good for Philly. You lose a couple draft picks. We'll see what the ladder turns into. But I think you can move on. Like I think next year, if Carson Wentz was back and Jalen Hurts was still there, and the Eagles weren't winning games, like you'd be looking around saying, "Why are we doing this again? Why?" So you know what? You move on. You find out what you got in Jalen Hurts. It's going to be very interesting to see. I don't know, his season last year had some highs and lows moments. He looked very good compared to Carson Wentz, but so would have a lot of quarterbacks.
So did about 30 other guys.
Yeah. His Saints comeback was helped out by a couple big plays. I think there was a 90-yard run that helped out with that. So, hey, if you're an Eagles fan, you're saying, let's see what we've got in Jalen Hurts. It's going to be interesting to see who they bring in to supplement the quarterback position. Are they going to bring in someone to compete with Jalen Hurts? Are they going to bring in a clear backup? Are they going to draft someone? And how high do you draft them? What conversation does that lead to? So Philly sports radio is probably having a good time right now.
They're excited.
Because, I mean, there's just so many different ways you can go. I would love to know, and Wake and Jake Bakers, maybe add this to the comments section or reach out to your Philadelphia fans. Is there a decent chance that Jalen Hurts isn't the starter next year? Like, this is the start of the QB movement, right? I don't know. I'm asking a question. I would love for Philly fans to reach out. Like, does this mean it's a lock Hurts as the starter, or could they bring in someone else? I don't know who it would be. I have no idea. It seems like it's got to be Hurts, but I would be really interested if they bring in someone to compete.
It can always be something just weird.
What are we on to? We're on to Deshaun Watson now?
Yeah. I think that's...
It's got to be the Jets, right? But the Jets won't, because they're the Jets.
I saw...
So who's a good franchise that's the Jets?
Well, there were the rumors the whole time that, like, he liked the Jets, and the Jets do have, like, the draft capital to make it work
actually
and
do
it
the
not
trade.
be, like, crippling them to do anything else. But, like, it's still the Jets, and I saw some headline, and I didn't read it, but it was like,
Perfect.
Watson aware of Jets issue or whatever. It's like, well, I don't know what Did something just pop up, or is that just about the Jets being the Jets? I don't know.
Yeah, I just clicked a weird sports article that was talking about an Adam Schefter article. There was Aaron Rodgers rumors to start this offseason, if you remember that.
Yeah,
I don't think
about a day.
I don't think we're going there. Matt Stafford was traded. He's on the Rams. Dak Prescott, I mean, him and Dallas both need each other. So it's Sam Darnold, Jimmy G, Cam Newton, Jameis, Alex Smith, Big Ben thought to be point of. Okay, so none of those names. Darnold, man. Imagine if the Eagles traded for Darnold. It's Darnold and Hurts. If I was a Philly fan, I'd be like, why do we do this? But we'll see. Deshaun Watson's going to be the big one. The rest of these ones, let's be honest, aren't going to matter in the NFL spectrum.
No, yeah, Watson.
I'll say this. Know who I don't want them to bring in if I'm Jalen Hurts? Fitzmagic.
I mean, how many times is he going to be brought in somewhere as a backup?
Mr. Steal Your Girl, man. If they bring him in, interesting, because I think if you are the Philadelphia Eagles, you can't fully believe in Jalen Hurts. You want to.
You want to have a guy that you're going to be comfortable.
You need a comfortable number 2, and that's a slippery slope. Cam, Teddy Bridgewater. Like, even famous Jameis, you're tiptoeing a tricky line.
Yeah. Jameis feels like the...
Because he's a different player. Like, if what Hurts is doing isn't working, you say, let's try Jameis.
It's different. Yeah, the Jameis situation's pretty weird.
It's weird.
We haven't talked about.
I kind of want him in Denver. Just let him sling it. I'm over it.
Because the Saints didn't trust him. They had their chance to show him they would consider him when Breeze was out.
Taysom.
They played Taysom Hill full games at quarterback.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was Derek Carr rumors this offseason. So, it's going to be interesting. I'm okay with both of these teams, right? Both these fan bases should be happy right now.
I think particularly, the immediate, I think Eagles fans feel good just to have it over with. And you potentially are getting a first.
If you're an Indy fan, you should be nervous.
Yeah,
this guy's been bad.
You're nervous. You'll talk yourself into it.
Yeah,
he has a good preseason. You feel pretty good. The tools are there.
That's nuts, man. Who's their first real game next year? Do we know?
We don't have the schedule.
Man,
we know who plays who, but
if Indy could get a bad team on the schedule for that first game. That's pretty nuts. It's crazy that matters at all, but it kind of does. I can't see a thing. This hairstyle. Actually, you can see my one eye poking out. That's kind of scary. This isn't a look.
If they can get one of the Jaguars games early next year.
That'd be huge.
The other
Trevor,
Houston, I guess, will probably be bad.
I like that.
game.
Yeah, Houston would be fine. Trevor Lawrence versus Carson Wentz on the Colts. I like that.
Their non-division games, other than the Jets, are not necessarily easy. They play the AFC East. They play everybody.
It's going to be fun to see. NFL, they went quiet for a couple weeks. We knew they were going to pick up Stafford. Now Carson Wentz, Deshaun Watson, in theory, should be next. We'll see what other funny business gets in the way. But that's a pretty big one. Carson Wentz, man. Talk about...
he's the guy.
I think a year and a half is my new how quickly things can change in sports. Colorado Rockies, year and a half later, they went twice to the playoffs. They were in the wild card lead. Now the whole organization has gone to complete crap. Carson Wentz, year and a half later, he was in that season. They won the Super Bowl.
He was gonna be MVP.
He didn't have any help around him. Things change quick, man. Things change quick. So that's the foosball. Thanks to everyone. The chat's popping right now. Sam, William, Jill, Real, Sam, Mega. Appreciate all you guys. We're moved over on the new channel now. If you're listening on the podcast app, if you could subscribe, we're really close to 1,000. That's a big milestone. That's a big number. Because then 1,000 turns to 10. 10 turns to 100. 100, Mill. Mill, Jake Paul. So, thank you guys. The other big news from the sports world, besides Chris Rose joining John Boy Media, which, again,
It's the number one.
has Twitter in shambles right now. I can't even open my phone. Tatis Jr. with the huge extension. Is it 14 years, 340?
Mm-hmm.
14 years, $340 million to stay in San Diego to be the face of that franchise. Pair him up with Machado, who's on the Giant contract. The left side of that infield is set for a few years. It's good for baseball. It's good for Tatis. We talked about it on Talking Baseball with Chris Rose. For a market like the Padres, I was trying to get a tweet off last night and it just wasn't happening. I Googled like biggest, smallest baseball markets, and an article from 2012 came up that said San Diego was like the fourth smallest. So
Yeah, I saw somebody post something about the 27th largest
yeah, I mean,
media market. But then someone else responded like, by the way, they're the 8th most populated city. So.
yeah, like how are we measuring this stuff? I have no idea. The other thing, BBD, if you want to get yourself mad about baseball, my Savannah Banana pick came out, and I've got a Bregman stance going. So I was like, oh, you know, it'll be funny. I'll Google Bregman stance and do a side-by-side. You try to find me an Alex Bregman batting stance on the internet.
Like just picture.
I texted Kyle, and because I knew he was looking for one as well.
Yeah. Other than like going to a game footage and taking a screenshot.
I said, so dumb that it's impossible to find Bregman's batting stance. And Kyle said, I was actually getting pissed off about that moments ago. Might have to go to grab screenshot one from a game.
Yep.
How is there not... This is Alex Bregman. This is a guy who's
He's a star.
supposed to be a star of the game. Never
He's
mind
the villain of the sport.
baseball. Should be MLB.com should have a page that's batting stances.
So that should be somebody has like a full like weird Twitter account that like
Well, there's batting stance guy.
yeah,
He does his thing. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
That's not him doing. Yeah.
MLB.com. If you want kids who
Do you
are
know
the
how
future
much
of the
I'd have
been
been on that website?
Oh
when I
my
was a kid?
god, dude!
You know how much wiffle ball I played?
We would be on that in this office constantly. Copy that stance.
You get a side view and the front view of every guy's stance.
Gotten a little off track. Fernando Tatis with the Giant contract. The AAV comes out to 24-1, 24-7,
3.
24.3. It's scaling up like
In
his
real
contract
dollars.
would have, when players go to arbitration. So it's like 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, blah, blah, blah. Good for him. I got some audible mean looks from everyone on Talking Baseball when I mentioned his dad was injury prone. I'm sorry. My head jumped
Lord.
there. I'm not saying it's going to happen. It's just an interesting parallel. It's
He has
father
played
and son
a smaller sample than you'd expect for.
because he got hurt.
I would, if I were the Padres, I'm not sure what the harm would have been in waiting one more year because he'd still get to buy out all his arbitration years and you get one more year from being like dirt cheap. But they're not over the luxury tax anyway with it, I don't think. So
Yeah.
so I guess it's also like, all right, well.
You wonder how much the money changes
money
or what else they
long-term.
have lined up. Because, I mean, Hosmer's contract has to wind down at some point. Clevenger and Snell are both 2 years. Is Snell 3?
Something like that.
I think
He's-
Clev's
yeah.
2. So
Clev, they gave him the little extension because he's out.
they're going to have a little bit of a money dance coming up.
Yeah, but just Hosmer, Machado, Tatis now is like the people were throwing around with the total number they're spending on just 3 positions. It's like 7 something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate that they are going for it.
If I had told you, and here's a fun game, David. If I had told you that before yesterday night, erase your brain, that Fernando Tatis was going to sign a 14-year deal, what would you have guessed the number would have been? 14's a huge...
I'd been thinking about it kind of a lot, and I think I would have landed kind of around here. It's obviously easy for me to say. I would have guessed the number. I probably would have guessed like 360.
I can't see.
I don't know. I would have said it would be a year from now and something in this range.
Yeah, 14's in my head a little bit, and that's
14 really sticks out as a number. I would have guessed it was like 12.
Like what was Trout's contract? He was 13 for 3 something.
Yeah, he got I think like a 10-year tack on.
Right.
To like the 3 years he had left, so like the total.
Trout contract extension, finalizing a 12-year deal worth more than $430 million. So he's the best player ever.
Yeah, I would have guessed.
Tatis is younger, plays shortstop. Not the best player ever yet.
But he's on a pretty good.
He's on a good trajectory.
Pretty good path for his position.
I think this is right. I think that's kind of what you're saying. Like,
kind of about, and who knows by the end of it? Like, I mean, Trevor Bauer just signed a deal for $40 million a year. He's a weird contract.
Yeah. Did you see his rant about the contract thing?
Bowers?
Yeah,
I didn't.
It was about lawyers
Garrett Cole
and
got
agents.
a
It was
$36
weird.
mil a year thing. So who knows what we're gonna even think about, like who the expensive guys are?
Yeah.
By the end of it.
No, I think this is fair. I mean, if they get Fernando Tatis for 10 seasons, the Padres won. If they don't, I think it comes back at them, and that's probably the tipping point in this contract.
And we have seen, like this week, not that I think this affected it, but a couple like nasty arbitration situations.
Yeah, you don't want to end up there.
They aren't gonna even have to consider that with
And
them.
dude, we don't have the full money formula, but if there's ever been a marketable guy, if there's a guy that, let's say injuries do get involved in his career, like, you can still sell whatever you want.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
still fun
the
when he's
dude.
playing.
Yeah, so I kind of like it for both sides. I had people DMing me that were saying that this was a bargain. I had people DMing me saying, why'd they do this? And that usually means that the answer lies somewhere in the middle. And yeah, I mean, the other storyline that's attached to this is the Ronald Acuna stuff, his contract.
Both the Braves guys, the guy.
Ozzie Albies.
Particularly Albies is like the most team-friendly extension ever.
Well, I think the other secret here that I'd have to ask Plouffe about is that I mean, a lot of the Latin guys are trying to get paid and get it over with. And, like, you know, they go through real struggles.
Yeah.
Like, Tatis's dad played ball and made a little bit of money. So he probably didn't have to jump at that first contract extension. I'm not saying
Whatever
that's
the
exactly
first
what
talks
happened.
were.
I'm just saying that has happened a lot in baseball. And I will say this, and I mentioned it on Talking Baseball, Ronald Acuna might have $140 million in the bank by the time he hits free agency again at 31 years old. And if he can still play corner outfield and hit a little bit, which I think he can, he's going to get another
Still gonna be
payday.
playing.
He could get another 8 years and whatever that looks like. So that might be the funny game here. I mean, Ronald
You
Acuna,
try to set yourself up to do
when he
one
hits free agency in 2028, if he's still good, he might get that second deal that looks like Tatis is now.
Yeah.
And if Tatis does fry out, so Ronald Acuna has to be very good for a bunch of years, which kind of stinks for that. He'll still get paid.
Yeah.
And Tatis has it in the bag, but
It'll be good enough to. He's gonna have one more like real contract after.
he should, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's upset. He's got $100 million coming.
Man, I don't know if we have to do it, if I have to do it, but some of this young talent, man. I mean, Acuna gets overshadowed by Tatis and Soto.
Yeah.
And there's a world there at the end of this, he's the best of the three. Soto's tough. Soto's got some stuff you can't argue with. Soto's disgusting.
Whenever he decides to,
and then so is Tatis, and that's, man, get these guys out there, baseball, and we're gonna try here at John
Soto
Boy
tries
Media.
to have fun. So let's
Soto
keep
has
doing that.
fun.
It kind of stinks that the Nats like just flopped this year. But they won a World Series with him already.
They won a World Series, and
just keep fielding like competitive playoff teams. He's got a ring.
Washington, D.C. is a weird baseball city.
It's a weird market, like kind of across sports. Just like...
Because, it's funny? I feel like Baltimore is a good baseball city, but I feel like Washington is not a good baseball city.
I mean, they didn't have a team for so long.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are, even the people that are from there but don't root for the team.
Can I say something kind of rude?
Please.
Washington Stadium does nothing for me.
I went whenever it like first opened, but
what's one really identifying trait?
Some red.
Like, I don't get it, man. You're building a baseball stadium and you don't have a thing? Like, even that Marlins went for that fish thing and it sucked.
It was stupid.
But they went for it.
Yeah, you need a quirk.
Tell me about your favorite stadium quirks.
I won't say, not to be a Debbie Downer. I was speaking to somebody with knowledge of the National League.
Oh.
Who basically, I mean, he comes from a different perspective than we do, I would say. But he said no shot he finishes that contract in San Diego. Which is tough to hear the day after, but...
It's always interesting to see how these sort out. The second Bryce Harper signed his Philly contract, I swore there'd be a day he ends up on the Yankees. I don't know the truth behind that. I'm interested to see. But there's a world where 5 years later in San Diego, we're like, oh, look what happened here.
And if they don't win something in the next 5 years while they've got these dudes.
And say that all those other pieces are winding down and the Dodgers are good and maybe the Giants resurge or something and then Tatis is actually a bargain at that price. There's a world.
Yeah. You get to something, you can use him to get someone else's money or...
Whatever you do, don't go on Juan Soto's baseball reference because it's distracting.
It'll get you.
God, he's really good. Those were the two biggest stories in the sports world. Tatis gets the bag. Carson Wentz to the Colts with his current bag. Is there anything else we need to touch on, Bieber?
A's did stuff
Oh,
today.
yeah, the A's made moves. The A's, we're a baseball company at our roots. The A's signed Trevor Rosenthal, 1 year, $11 million.
Mitch Moreland today also.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you're a baseball person, go check out Mitch Moreland's numbers. Mitch Moreland against the righties the last 2 years has an OPS over 900. That's, an all-star caliber player. The A's just got that for, $3.5 million. And if Olsen gets hurt, you've got insurance there. Like,
you can get Olsen DH days.
The A's in the past few days have made some pretty good moves.
Given that they already did the losing Simeon thing, they've recovered from that. All right, and they're willing to spend a little cheddar, a little more than we thought they were, because they seem to be pure cost cutting mode for most of the winter and didn't go to Simeon 118 that the Blue Jays gave them, but then they do this, so it's just kind of confusing.
The A's get Jimmy so frustrated. They had Trevor frustrated earlier. They have me frustrated now because there is one player who should be on the Oakland A's if they were a normally run franchise that I think would change their whole season's outlook.
Oh.
Trevor Story.
Yeah.
He's on the last year of his deal. We saw what the Lindor package landed at. We've seen the 1-year deals. If you could make Elvis Andrus the rover, right now they have Tony Kemp at second, and you could slide him in the middle of that lineup, it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating because there's not a lot of landing spots for Trevor Story right now, and the A's should be one, but you automatically write them off because you just know
when have they won't. Traded.
They did that with Lester. Lester was the first time they really did that, and they traded Cespedes, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
And their whole team backfired. Cespedes was the heart of that team and everything. Is Cespedes going to sign somewhere? Does anybody care?
Well, before they did this, they saw people like calling for them to bring him back as a DH option. Probably not now. Trying to think of their depth chart.
A's have a really good bullpen right now. I think they're better than the Angels. I think.
Yeah, it was Lester and Johnny Gomes for Cespedes.
And that ended up, they started playing really bad after that.
And I think Cespedes was also bad on Boston. Yeah, that was his only like row on Baseball Reference below 100 OPS plus. 51 games. But
51 games.
That's only one 2020 season.
So a little Oakland there. It sucks if they're out of the race. They'll trade Rosenthal because he's on a one-year deal. Same with Moreland. So kind of a okay situation for them. I think Oakland will end up being in the wild card. Because right now it's what? Oakland and the Angels, and Houston out west. That should be formula.
Yeah, you still probably trust Houston to be good.
In the Central, Twins, White Sox, Cleveland. And then it's Yankees, Rays, Blue Jays. So, I don't know. A's might not be in the mix, but I bet they are.
They have like a solid group in the rotation, and now that bullpen, despite losing Hendricks, which was the other thing they did, they've recovered from that pretty well. It's like overall the pitching staff's in a pretty good spot. Right now they're 5 listed right now in roster resource: Bassett, Luzardo, Montas, Manaea, Fires. It's like a solid MLB.
They're MLB pitchers.
Bassett was really, really good.
MLB pitchers that can win on any given day. A.J. Puck got hurt. I wonder what they've got for depth. They've got a ton of bullpen pieces now. Rosenthal, Diekman, Romo, Trevino, Wendelken, Petit, Kolarek. I think Nick Turley's a weirdo.
Kolarek going to do
Like
some
I think
stuff.
I think he throws some grosso stuff. So is that Pete Cosma in AAA? Ugh. Oh, that is Pete Cosma. So don't watch out for that. Dalton
Lowry
Jeffries
back.
is a prospect for them. Caprillion still on their top 10 list. I don't know. Oakland's going to Oakland, and I don't be shocked if they find themselves in the wild card game. That's what they do.
Be in the mix.
A little frustrating. People reported to camp the other day. Kind of can't deep dive on that. Some surprises at Yankees camp. Dietrich snuck up on us. That was kind of funny. But it's baseball. 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 God, I like that noise. I really do.
Oh, yeah.
I really do. All right, gang, NBA games are going on. I watched Steph Curry in kind of a fever dream last night. He looked good. I don't think we're NBAing right now. Our Knicks lost, so we're sad. How about that?
Yeah.
Were you going to do a drop, or were you just thinking about something?
Thinking
You're
about
just
it,
lining
but-
something up? Okay. Well, BBD, let's keep grooving and shaking. We'll go to the comment of the day. Bakers, I ask you guys to leave a comment. Sports related, a good sports conversation. How do me and BBD look? We've kind of got opposite hairstyles today.
More or less.
Yours is going north, mine's going south.
Happens.
I wouldn't call this a hairstyle. I'd call this like a balding child. Didn't think I was going there, did you?
He's not good. He's fabulous.
Couple comments on the most recent episode. Streamed live 69 minutes ago. Jada Genius, a little BBD love right there. CBFA Bulldogs. Blue Jays had a pretty solid offseason, and I'm excited to see what some more experienced guys will bring to the table with all the young up-and-comers on this team. Agree the pitching could use some work. Hopefully the front office sees something in our current guys that I'm missing. That division is always a tough road. This could be the Blue Jays here. Blue Jays and the White Sox, man.
Yeah, when we did our thing on was that this week? We did the best offseason thing.
been a
Blue
week,
Jays
yeah.
really stuck out. Like in hindsight, I don't remember what I said on the show, but
Top of
They're
your,
good.
if I said who's the better team, Blue Jays or White Sox, you say White Sox,
Sox.
right? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that Blue Jays pitching just can go south really quick, man. Ryu deserves more respect. Like, People say he's injury prone, and maybe he is. And if that happens, the Blue Jays are really in a tough place. But when he's pitching, he's not great. He's wonderful.
He's not good. He's fabulous.
It's not good. It's fabulous. I'm getting there. We'll get there. Robbie Ray, what are you going to get? Nate Pearson, what are you going to get? Tanner Rourke, I think you know what you're going to get, but it's not good. Steven Matz, similar boat. So I don't know. Blue Jays, I really like that lineup on a day-to-day basis. What are they going to get from their pitching? The bullpen isn't beautiful. I don't know. Like, I think if you line up the Blue Jays and the White Sox on paper, everyone would say the White Sox. But I think when you really get into it, I mean, Giolito, Keuchel, Lynn, and Cease, I think those guys are easy starters for the Blue Jays. I think Carlos Rodon, that's a coin flip. All my Carlos Rodon fans out there. And then Liam Hendricks, the bullpen, I don't know. Feels like the lineups can go toe for toe. Blue Jays may be a little better, but the White Sox a lot better pitching. So, hey, Blue Jays fans, I think the bigger thing is be excited. You just added George Springer to a really good team. Maybe they bring back Taijuan Walker. He's still not signed, right?
Maybe.
He was good there.
There's been chatter so many times with him this offseason.
I wonder what's up, man. Odorizzi's still not signed?
Yeah, see his clip.
Yeah. It's cool. Slow-mo.
Yeah, I can getting to watch it like snap out of his hand is
Grichuk,
cool.
currently on Toronto's bench. Yeah, because we kept saying, like, they're going to make a trade for a starter or they're going to sign someone else. They never did. Ryu, Robbie Ray, Pearson, Rourke, and Matz. That's not enough.
Yeah. Getting Yates for the bullpen is good, and Phelps for the bullpen is good. Yeah, make a move for another starter.
I mean, you need innings, man.
Yeah, I mean, get one of these dudes that's hanging out available, and do a move by the deadline.
I mean, if Nate Pearson's the truth for you, that's good, but I don't know.
Got to do it to do it.
Thank you for leaving your comments. Really appreciate it. New channel. We're race to 1,000. Hopefully, we could be there by tomorrow. Tell a friend.
We're close.
Hit that prescribe button. Love you guys. BBD, that brings us to the bro of the night. You've got someone penciled in here that I did not expect.
Near and dear to your heart.
I did not expect, but I'm interested.
I'm giving my bro of the night to Alejandro Kirk.
Okay. Yeah.
See the pic of him yesterday?
No.
Just looking good. Reported the camp.
Like
Just
looking
catches
good, or are you
I think
throwing punches here?
I think he's perfect now.
Okay, that makes me a little worried.
I was like a little worried before. I think he trimmed the perfect amount. Just visually.
So
I don't know what the numbers indicate. He's in a good spot. Because he still keeps his identity, but I don't think you're scared about him.
Okay, so there's two pictures that were tweeted out by the Blue Jays account yesterday.
I saw one of them.
One,
and I also it made me think of him, which is always a good thing.
One, he looks kind of fit, which has me a little concerned. The next picture, he's got kind of the TC Tuggers look going on.
I'm gonna go look at the pics.
Yeah, no, that worries me. I got to be honest. I mean, Alejandro Kirk had his thing, and now
I think he gets to maintain that identity. He didn't do too much.
Know what I'd like? Know how there's some guys in sports that get like a little more fit as the season goes on? I'd like if Alejandro every month put on like 2 to 5 pounds. And that was his thing.
Kind of on the CC plan.
Like when October gets here.
Big burly beard.
Big burly guy with a big old beard. No, he looks too fit, man. I don't like that. If he gets on a scale this spring, I'm going to be very interested because
Yeah, I was trying to see. I didn't try that hard, but to see if there was like a report on how much he may have lost. But he's in a gray T-shirt with horizontal stripes, and
that's not supposed to be a slimming
slim.
look.
Looks comparatively slim.
I don't know if I like that, BBD.
I don't dare go to that shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I wore horizontal stripes for one of the first times the other day, and it's kind of a gimmick look. It was a gimmick look. I guess this is sports news. I don't know. I mean, the bros of the night, so it was probably could have been Tatis. I'll give out a quick bruh that I think is important news if you're a sports fan, and that's what we're trying to do. The Real Muto news.
Oh, yeah.
Broke his thumb. That's a bummer. Supposed to be okay for opening day.
That type of injury you can really come back early from.
Yeah, and I wonder, is it his throwing or his receiving thumb?
And it's kind of either way.
Broke thumb on his throwing hand. Well,
That's probably the one you prefer
'cause I think
if
he
you're
could
just
still-
worried about him being there.
he could still do some catching and stuff. I know it's not big. But yeah, I mean, tough. You just gave that guy the massive contract. You're trying to get that good spring energy, spring training juju going. That's a bummer. So, tough, bruh. Tough, bruh. James Booknight for UConn had a really good dunk the other day.
Good dunk.
Tweeted it out. Good dunk. Talking Knicks. Yeah, I'm trying to think out. Any other athletes do anything crazy?
Oh, really? I can look at the NBA scores from last night, so you stood out.
Again, I was having a fever dream last night, and I saw Steph Curry hit like a game-winning three. Trae Young with 40. John Wall deserves some love. He does look really good. They lost. Embiid, Zach LaVine, Jeremy
Sabonis,
Grant with
triple-double.
43. Dame Lillard. I don't know. I mean, Kent Bazemore, 26 points. How about it? Those are the bros of the night. I think that's kind of it. What are we watching tonight? There's NBA, college basketball, spring training updates. Chris Rose has joined John Boy Media. Everybody's talking about it. It's the talk of the office.
The talk of the office?
People can't stop talking about it. Lakers Nets is on tonight. Is that on TV somewhere?
I would assume.
You'd like to
Somewhere.
think so. That's the
It's
late
on
night
TNT.
game. Raptors Bucks probably leads up to that. So okay, it's an
Yeah.
NBA night. Yeah.
Yeah, NBA Thursdays.
Double dip on TNT. So yeah, go enjoy that.
Iowa, Wisconsin,
Ooh.
college hoops. If you're into the ranked stuff.
Tell me, when is March Madness? It's gotta be soon.
Sometime in March.
Okay, here's a Google. When does March Madness start?
They move it back every year.
Thursday, March 18th. What's today?
It's 1 month from today.
1 month from today.
Today's 4 weeks from today.
Hey, if they can get enough teams in a bubble to make it work, we will be locked in.
Those first two March Madness days, best day of the year.
BBD, I'll get a little emotional with the people here. Besides just my hair, Boston crew of friends, good people. Big Evan, Nick Broach, Sheedy, a lot of people that you may have seen pop up on the John Boy Media Network at certain times. Graphic designer Matt. Mm-hmm. They'd started a tradition of those Thursday, Friday games. They would take off, head to a bar at like noon, and just place bets and drink all day. Usually lose a lot of money. But it's the spirit of it, right? You know, you're taking off from work on a Thursday, and we're doing it.
It's like the number one not productive day at work.
Yeah. And that was right before I moved here, and I was trying to finagle a way to maybe get up there for the Friday or something, and that was before the world ended last year. So that sucked. So if we could get some March Madness, that would be great. Bakers, those of you that are tuning into this, thank you so much. Not sorry about my hair. This isn't a look. It's Jimmy's birthday hair.
Jimmy's birthday hair.
Wish John Boy a happy birthday. John Morant triple-double, sure. So much stuff on the network. GM Files, Sequence, Talking Yanks, Talking Nets, Talking Baseball, Mansplain Baseball, JJR yesterday, always a good time. You guys are the best. Let's get to 1,000, then we'll get to 10. Have a good weekend. If you're in the Northeast, be careful with the snow.
Wake and Jake. night.
Love you.
Jakes us.
Big the algorithm.